Hey guys, Mel the Train Tutor here again with another quick and simple tip for you. And this one is how to make flexible static grass patches. Now you've seen static grass patches done before, and a lot of people make these using PVA. Okay, and the idea is that you make them in advance on PVA bits and then you can just glue them down onto your model. And the benefit of that is you're not sort of spreading static grass all over your model as you're applying it directly. Okay, and there's a lot more control with these, but I want to show you what you call it, flexible ones. Okay, and this is used by using Copydex, and this is a latex glue. Now, latex glues are normally latex suspended in all sorts of horrible chemicals. Okay, but this one is suspended in water. And it's a craft glue. It's used in schools. It's non-toxic, so it's great for our sort of stuff. You know, it does stink. Okay, now this stuff dries as a rubber. Okay, I've got a bit here. Yeah, I've squidged up. Okay, it does have a slightly yellow tinge to it, but when you're using it for static grass, you can't see that at all. Okay, and basically, just to show you, yeah, it's like a thick, it's very much like PVA, to be perfectly honest, but it isn't. Okay, now I will say this stuff stinks of rotten fish. Oh, God. Yeah, but let's crack on. Now, just before I do, I've got a metal sheet here, yeah. There's various ways of doing these, yeah. I find metal sheets are great. These are plasterers' tools. They're used for scraping plaster. And I got about 5 or 6 of them for about £1.50 or £2. Yeah, and obviously, you know, they're reusable. I use them for all sorts of different projects. I've got one somewhere with them. I don't know. Never mind. So anyway, back to the PVA. Now, this stuff will take a minimum 30 minutes to dry. Yeah, it's air drying. Now, if you put it on too thickly, it will encapsulate. As it dries, the top will dry and trap air, stop air from getting to the inside. So it's really important that you put this stuff on thin, especially for this sort of stuff. Otherwise, you're going to be left with cloudy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to spread this out like this. And as you can see, I'm doing it so I can see the metal through it. Yeah, and then I'm also going to do a few more blobs. Yeah. And then what I'll also do is I'm going to put a big blob down here. Yeah, and this will be our test blob, so I can show you what happens when, when you apply it a bit too thickly. Now, the main difference, if I lift that up, you can see on these two, you can see the metal underneath. Why did I blow on it? Because it blows down the ridges. Okay, and it sort of thins it down a bit. And on this one, you can see it's obscured the metal, so that's nice and thick. And so I'm going to go to my static grass applicator, the one with the pen that I did. I'll throw a video up on how I converted this if you've never seen it before. Okay, and what I'm going to do is just apply static grass. Now remember, metal is a brilliant conductor, so the results are far better off metal, yeah, than if you're using anything else to do a static grass, to apply static grass. Saying that, metal is a brilliant conductor, and as such, yeah, if this touches that, yeah, you'll get a spark, much like when you discharge a static grass applicator. Okay, so if you see this suddenly jump, okay, and I cover myself with static grass, I've touched it and I've got a spark. Now, this takes a little while, so what I'll probably do is fast forward it. Okay, guys, I think that's a good point to call it. Right. Okay, and I should have done this on a bit of paper, but never mind. Okay, shake off the excess. Okay, And all I'm going to do now is leave that to dry, okay? And if I bring it up, you see it's got a really light, the white of the Copydex is showing through. And what will happen is over time that will darken. It should take about 30 minutes, okay? But don't go by time, go by the darkening. And as it darkens, it'll darken from the edges into the middle. Yeah, and you want to leave it until there's no white patches left, okay? And you can actually see on this, on the blobby one, there's a little bit of white showing through where it's still too thick and you can see it through it. But let's leave this to dry and then we'll come back, okay guys? And I'm going to clean up my mess. See you in a minute. It's been about 45 minutes, guys, and these are all but dry. Now, as I pick them up, what I want you to notice is the blob one, which we did here. You can see the whiter patches inside it, and that's where the Copydex hasn't dried. Okay, whereas the thinner ones, you can see that it's a nice, even colour. Yeah, and they feel dry. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to peel them off now, and I'm expecting this one to come off. You know, I'm not expecting this to come off properly, to be perfectly honest. So, to peel them off, all you got to do is literally just get something sharp or your nail. I normally just use my nail. And literally just, yeah, I can show you that. I'll bring that up to there. Yeah, do you see that? You just peel it off. Now, the underside will be tacky for a while because it's just getting exposed to air. So I find these are actually best to lay. As soon as you take them off, because as you can see, yeah, tacky. Yeah, to lay them flat upside down. And what that'll do is it will just let, only for about 5-10 minutes, and that'll just let that side just completely seal. But it's not going to affect the flexibility or, you know, the nature of it. As you can see, you know, you can see through it. It is translucent, you know, that yellow effect doesn't affect it. And these can be molded to however you want. And these things will last forever. So, let's do our long strip. And just to remember, yeah, it's not just what you call it. It's not just static grass you can put into these. You can put clump foliage, you can put rocks, you can make little rock piles with them. And then add those to your terrain. As you can see, that's coming off nice and easy. There's very little, oh, do you see that little white patch at the bottom? Yeah, just a tiny little bit of thickness that's still got a cure. Yeah, but even so, I mean, you could glue that down now, guys, you know, or you could just lay it on a sheet. Yeah, and then just let it watch the cure. One quick tip, okay? Don't let this stuff stick to itself. Don't let it fold in on itself, because once it does, it bonds to itself. Yeah, and sometimes you can be lucky and you can pull them apart. Majority of the time, yeah, it's knackered. Yeah, so just be aware of that. Okay, now finally, our blobby one. Let's have a look at this, see how this has come out. And I'm expecting this to go wrong, so yeah, look at that. See, it's left some back on there. Yeah, that hasn't cured at all underneath. And as it cures now, it'll deform. Okay, and that's why you need to put it on thin, guys. Okay, Copydex self-seals, you know, and leaves blobs in the inside, and it's not good. It is rigid when it's thin, so don't worry. I mean, these can take some hammer. Right, see, I've just picked that up, and I've just folded it on itself, and see what I mean about never let the stuff. Yeah, especially when it's this fresh. As it goes on and it cures, it gets a lot better, you know. This one. Yeah, this one I did last night. Yeah. You know, this one will peel better, okay, because it's cured a lot more. This one, as you can see, if I put these together, press, they literally glue together. But this stuff is flexible. See that? Flexible. Yeah, you can shape it to wherever you want. You can cut it with a craft knife. Oop. Or I say you can cut it with a craft knife. Yeah, I probably cut it when it was on there. That's what I normally do. Yeah, but it can be cut, it can be ripped. Okay, and it will keep those fibers in really well. Okay, just remember it needs to dry, guys. Now, when I was checking online, I did a quick check online for this stuff, and I also found, which is really useful for me, that it can be used as a mask for airbrushes. Okay, and basically you paint it on the bits that you don't want, you know, to your airbrush to go on, and then afterwards you peel it off. And I tried it on a model and it works fine. And this stuff is damn cheaper than airbrush mask. Yeah, kind of checked around because, you know, I'm getting into airbrushing and all that sort of stuff, so I've been looking at a lot of videos, and what's sure this came up in one of their videos, and I never thought of it like that. One other thing, yeah, this is nothing to do with terrain or airbrushing, yeah. We used to use this in the army when I was a medic, okay, and you use it to simulate wounds. And what you do, yeah, I'm telling you this because it's cool, yeah, you put a layer over a part, and remember it's completely flexible, so it'll bend with your fingers and all that sort of stuff. So you put a layer over, let it dry. You then get some little tissue, roll it up, yeah, into the bits you sort of need, the ridges you need, soak that with Copydex, and then build that on top of the layer. Okay, and you can sculpt it and you can get wonderful cuts and scars and scarring and that sort of stuff. Use chicken bones, yeah, snap a chicken bone, embed it in, then build up the skin over it with a bit of tissue, and that'll give you a nice little fractured bone. Let it all dry, go over it with foundation, what you call it, makeup, and then what you need is you need some KY jelly, mix them in some red food colouring and also some coffee granules, and that'll give you a nice deep venous, not an arterial blood flow, but a venous blood flow, a nice dark one, a runny dark one that sticks in the wound. And it, you know, because it's KY, it looks really realistic and it holds really well. And that is a brilliant way to scare the hell out of the wife when you've got the kids at home, guys. And I'm thinking on that. My wife's working now and she's going to be working late tonight. So I think when the nanny brings the kids back from the circus, yeah, I'm going to do that with the kids and then send her a photo and scare the living hell out of her. So on that, guys, this is Copydex. This is Flexible Static Grass. And I'm Mel, the Terrain Tutor. Listen, guys, if you've got any questions, throw them in the comments. Oh, one quick question for you guys. The guys in the US, I'm not sure if I've already mentioned this in the video, but the guys in the US, I don't know what your version is. So if someone could throw that in the comments, I'd be incredibly grateful. Yeah, I'm always after learning. You know what it's like, guys. Now, guys, if you've got any questions, throw them in the comments. If you've got any tips or anything to add to this, or you've got any experiences you'd like to share, throw those in the comments. And all these guys watching this, check the comments out because there's always good information in them. If you've liked the video, then really throw a like on it. I'd really appreciate it, guys. If you like terrain and everything, then click the subscribe link that's coming up now. If you really want to show your appreciation, then send me cash, dancing girls, or alternatively, share this with your mates. Yeah, share this online, and let's get everyone building better battlefields, eh? Anyway, I'm Mel. I'm out of there because I've got a pond to do. I'll see you soon, guys. All the best. Ta-da.